Welcome to Up Close and in Focus, the podcast that takes you behind the scenes with production and marketing trailblazers of the music and film industry. Are you ready to be empowered and pursue your own passion?
Welcome everybody to Up Close and in Focus with Kerry Douglas, your host today, and my guest. Oh my goodness, this is gonna be a great one, y'all. Y'all give it up for the one and only Mr. Earnest Pugh. What's up, Ernest?
Man, it's good to be up in here.
Yeah, man, it's good to have you here. Just to think about all of the things that we have been through as friends, first of all, business associates. I'm excited about what you're doing with Love Mountain, the movie. You're doing a couple things. First of all, you're one of the lead actors.
Hey.
How's that feeling for you?
Real good. It's a little different than the stage, but you know.
Well, you're doing an excellent job. And also, you've been commissioned, once you did the movie, to write a feature song for the soundtrack.
Yeah, that was amazing because the thing that just kept jumping out of my brain when I read the script was just resilience, determined to keep the family together, to never give up on, don't give up on, you know, it's a song to say, don't give up on you because God never gives up on you. Mm-hmm. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on your family. And so don't give up. That's what that was. I mean, that's what I knew I had my assignment was as soon as I read the script.
Right. Well, that whole movie, you know, in the process of recording and filming the movie, the director Lee Shelton, you know, we handpicked you for this role of Elliot, right?
Yep. Elliot got 3 sons.
Yeah. So tell us about Elliot, Dad. Tell us about
Elliot
this.
You know what Elliot did? Elliot allowed me to see all the hell that I put my family through. And so I'm like, did Lee know anything about my past before he gave it to me? Because what those 3 sons did, and like how they will approach me and they will push me all the way to the edge, that was me as a child. And so really it allowed me to look through another lens and to have more grace for fathers who have, you know, real strong sons that have a strong constitution.
Right.
And then it allowed me in the role to really be able to pour into somebody who can come across as a little rebellious, very opinionated. It allowed me to kind of change. So this role really it caused me to evolve and to go back into my childhood and just pray that, oh my God, can I make sure that the next generation, the grandchildren and nephews can come up a different way, coming through the way to how Elliot really raised his sons and loved on his sons. Because I didn't have that.
Well, you know, The Love Mountain is the movie, and then you're also starring in the series called Valleys. Mm-hmm. So it's like an ongoing thing here. Tell us about it, man.
Deep because you are forced to come out of your comfort zone of just even tones. Like I had to like raise my voice and raise up one of my sons, you know, who's very eloquently played by Devon. And it gets you to the point to where the boiling point, but then you got to come back as the leader of your family and not react, but respond. And so your response has got to be, let me give counsel. Let me give direction. Because the physical side of you in that character would just be more like, you know, I don't want nothing to do with you. You know, you trigger me, you send me to a pump, but it's like, no, you got to now calm yourself down long enough to give counsel. And that, it caused me to evolve because I can be a hothead sometimes. But in that particular situation, that does not require you to react. It requires you to respond because this is what they need. You're shaping that character, but above all, you're being an example. And what you say out of your mouth could really affect the trajectory of where he's going to go. Right. You can push him away or you can embrace him. So that role, and it made it every week, every time we shot, I felt like I went deeper. As a character, I went deeper. Character. Yeah, I had to go deeper. And sometimes I had to sit in the car after we was done at night and be like, ooh, let me get back to who I really am, you know, my real self. So it's really, and it's deep. It's all the emotions. It's anger. It's love. It's hate. It's wanting to cry. It's everything. Wanting to do whatever you got to do to save your family. And I think that's what people are going to, on the other side of that camera, the other side of that screen, that's what the people are going to see. They're going to see us saving the family, bringing love back.
Let's pause to take a look at this short clip from the movie Love Mountain.
You home?
Do it for me. Who kid is that?
She mine.
So you just not finding out about this? You need to find a way to make this work.
Joseph, that child is a full-grown human, and you mean to tell me that you didn't know about her?
Drowning and watching. But what you gotta remember is you have a daughter now, and she's watching every move that you make.
Feelings buried alive, they don't die. Just because you don't talk about it doesn't mean it goes away.
You know, I'm on this thing now moving forward is Black Love, bringing Black Love back. And, you know, of course, the movie is called Love Mountain.
Yeah.
And it's about the fabric of black families.
Yeah.
And you kind of touched on it. But I want you to get deeper into what that movie is. I know you said earlier that it's going to be the road map for the future people to understand how the family structure should be done. It's something that we can look into and move. So just dive into it, because I know you studied that role in this movie so strong.
Well, first, ironically, with the movie being titled Love Mountain, because life is not about just always being on the mountaintop. Sometimes you got to be in the valley. But what we learn as a family, as a God-fearing family, that the same God that's in control when you're on the mountain is in control in that valley. And you just got to stand on the warranty, and as a family, stand on the warranty and authority of every promise he made you, and say, if he did it before, he'll do it again. We'll get back to the mountaintop. But when you're navigating that valley, sometimes you play the blame game. You know, if you did this and you did that, but what you have to do is you have to come together. And I think what that movie gives us a blueprint of how we as fathers, how we as sons, how even as the wife and the daughter come together when a situation hits you in the face. There's a very tumultuous situation that happens where something from the past comes back and it's bigger than life. And we cannot magnify or give that so much power that we just discount all the other great things that happened for several years that they were married. So as the story goes on and you see other things come up, then I wind up with a sickness in the movie. But they get me through the sickness. So it's not what you go through really as a black family with love, because love overcomes a multitude of things. But it ain't what you go through, it's how you go through it. And so in the movie, the blueprint, the example that we use is how you are to navigate that situation as a family. And know that you're coming out. You're not going to always be on the mountain, but when you come down to the valley, how are we going to do that? We're going to do it together. Love is going to cause us to overcome a multitude of obstacles. And so I think it's a genius movie. I think and even though it highlights the family dynamic in the black community, but it's going to transcend all barriers. Whether you're black, whether you're white, whether you're young, whether you're old, it's going to be an example of how you navigate.
Well, that's pretty cool. Talking to you, it kind of takes me back. I guess our relationship, business relationship, has probably been 25 years. How many years?
Over 2 decades.
Yeah. So.
And it's been mountain and valley.
Yeah, that constitutes me saying this because there's a love bond here. There's a love bond
at the end of the
day. At the end of the day, and we I know you're going to go over some of the songs in the past and some in the future, but let's talk about the elephant in the room here. We've had some big hits with you on Black Smoke Music. We had some big hits, and we've opened up some opportunities, and you've helped Black Smoke open up opportunities too. But you've left the label a couple times.
Yeah. like the what's that wayward child in the Bible?
You know the Bible.
and what I would say to people that get an opportunity to work with somebody like you, I think you got the biggest heart in the world. Like you got a tough exterior, but when you get inside, one thing I've noticed about you, and I think you may, because you had the privilege of having a lot of kids, and I think. And we laugh about it sometimes, but we kind of like, even though we're old as we are, we kind of were like your kids too. And like a kid with his father, you ain't gonna agree with everything your father wants you to do.
All right.
But the respect level should always be there. And so some of the decisions that I made, if I could turn the clock back, I'd be like, there's nobody who came into my life, especially men, father on down, that I ever have trusted, that ever made me a promise that my father would say he's going to take me to the park. He never did it. So I was so used to having an expectation that it not coming to pass. But when I met you and we went to Georgia Brown's and you said to me we were going to meet on Monday, I didn't think you were going to call. So you called, and not only did you call, you said that you're going to have fame and you're going to have fortune. You said the word God's going to change. I didn't believe any of it. And so what God used you to do with me in my 40s is just sit in the mirror one day, and it's happening to me like right now, and got very emotional. Because for the first time, a male character in my life is going to do what he said he's going to do. And so no matter how big of that blessing was, when the enemy gets in your ear, it's always the people that love us the most that we hate or that we hurt. And so God gave me, I think, the second time, and his confirmation was when just us being back together a matter of months. As soon as you touched the record of mine, it had been 11 years. The last hit was in 2011. 10 years went by. We got back together during the pandemic.
You was gone that long?
10 years. The last big hit you did for me was in 2011. I'm looking at it behind you. 2011. And then the next one was not until 2021. So 8, we start talking. 8 is the year of new beginnings. So I knew that I was going to wind up coming back to you, but the rebellion in me and the pride in me and the things in my ear did not allow me at the year 8. So 2 more years went by until we started working together again, and instantly God put his hand of endorsement on it, and it shot to the top of the chart. And people were like, oh, you still working again? So people almost were like, you started with Kerry. What in the world could be so powerful that they could? And I said, you don't want to know the story. But that's why we have to, when God bring you a blessing, you have to guard that blessing. And when I say the Bible says, guard your heart with all diligence. Why? Because out of it flows the issues of life. So gossip, hateration, all these things that come out of your heart, if you're not guarding your heart, if you guard in your heart, they can't get in. Well, I was one of those people that got in, but the blessing is God allowed me to come back and get a second chance. And so even with you calling, that's why I make the big deal about you being the gift that keeps on giving.
I notice you keep saying that. What does that actually mean?
Well, it's like no matter, because I've done really hurtful things to you.
But
you never let that stop you.
But because if you, first of all, there is absolutely no way that I could be connected with someone for 20 plus years and not have love for them and not love them.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that I'm the world's best, but I think that what we do together is good.
Yeah.
And
God favors you.
Yeah. And I just, everybody like, why would you still work with him again after he left you and he this, that, and another? I'm like, it's no big deal to me. I just kind of keep going because I understand sometimes we just get, sometimes if we get too much information or people, so much hating coming into the end, so much, and we're going to talk about the industry.
Oh my God.
It's like so much hate in the industry. When I talk to people and people say, I want to dominate the industry, I run from those people because I'm interested. I'm interested in expanding the industry. There's a difference. I want to expand it in different directions. And that's why we're sitting here talking about Love Mountain, the movie. Are we talking about Love Mountain, the soundtrack? Because we're now living in a streaming world and things are changing daily.
Yeah. Not like
and our content. If we don't understand what God really has for us to do, that we're really touching the lives of billions of people. I know sometimes I talk to you on the phone and you say, man, I'm on YouTube just reading comments, and we can read comments on some of the songs we put out. We could probably read those comments for weeks. Yeah. And so many people that we're touching that we would never physically see or know anything about them, other countries everywhere. And I look at, if God put us together to do that, can't no man.
That's right.
Can no man take that from us? Because as long as I got my strength, my energy, anytime you and I can go through our drama, which we have it every other day. I mean, we have it all the time, but
it's getting easy now. Like, you can't be mad at me as long as you used to.
no,
I can't either.
and I'm old now.
Some joke, something gonna bring us back together. But it's that thing called love. And this is, and I hate to just keep saying that, but the Bible says it like this: where your treasure is, that's where your heart is. You put a lot of money into us as artists. I didn't know that until I tried to be a label myself. And I said, if he's doing this for 15 people, but it says where your treasure is, where your money is, where your possession is, where your investment is, that's where your heart is. And that's why all of us can do stupid stuff. And you always come back and say, that was really dumb. However, let's get this record done, or let's get this marketing done. And you keep right on. That's why I say he's the gift that keeps on giving, because it never runs out. When I say the mercy,
favor of God,
it never runs out. So it's like we're so covered, but we covered because that bond, the only thing that brings us together is that thing called love, which is why people can never lose that. The opposite of that love is hate.
Right.
So you can never revert to hateration, no matter what the differences are that happen. And I learned that from you, really. That was the example. I said, he really is, he forgives, and he gonna raise, Cain, and he gonna, but you always, I like that prodigal son. Like, okay, come on back home. What you did was dumb, but come on back home. But there's always a bed here. There's always a meal for you to eat. And so I appreciate that.
Yeah, well, I'm not always right either. With this business, it's a lot. You might. One of the biggest thing I think we always have. You felt like I always doing better for this guy. I'm always doing better for this guy, or I love this guy more than you. You always seem like
I'm that child that's like, listen. I want my way. I know you got 5 other kids, 10 other kids, however.
Yeah, I'm like,
but have I got better?
I'm like, yeah, you get a little bit better. We ain't had nothing to come up yet. We ain't had nothing to come up yet.
No,
but I know how to handle it now, and I'm sure you know how to handle it, man. And I just want to say to you, in your face, that I love you. That you have been a good friend. You've been a good person to when sometimes when I've been through a lot in these 20 years. From heart attacks, 3 divorces.
I know all of it.
That had to come out. 3 divorces.
How many kids?
Oh man, come on, come on! I got some new ones. I got new ones. I started over 3 times with children.
You young.
And I love this thing. And you've been there also to counsel me, which is what your profession is now: counselor, singer, and now actor.
Actor.
Yeah,
add it to the resume, would you?
Actor. So I just wanted to let you know, man, truly, I love you. I wouldn't change anything. I enjoy promoting the music that God has blessed you to come and partner with me with, and I don't have any problem living out our last days doing what we do. It's all good. So,
and if we don't do nothing else, it's like God has blessed you to where songs in your catalog are woven into the fabric of not only the gospel music industry, but this last record, I was looking at stuff on the R&B chart.
Yes.
I was like, what is he doing?
Yes. The record is crossing over to R&B, and with this Love Mountain soundtrack, it's going to be around, just like the movie's going to be around for
I believe
decades and decades. The soundtrack is going to be around for decades and decades.